First of all, before we get deeper into the topic, what do you mean by open innovation?
Right. So you guys may know, and probably that historically people were innovating very much by themselves with their own means, especially in times where we were, in certain occasions, heavily funded by some public bodies. Then basically, about 10, 15, 20 years ago, the open source movement in software appeared. And people started to realize that by basically collaborating together, they were getting more outcomes for themselves. And basically it slowly transitioned to the rest of innovation, and more people do what we call open innovation, where they work together, basically to get more outcomes once again for themselves. That's the idea of open innovation.
Right, and open innovation is not just about startups, it's also for larger corporations, right? Both of them.
Absolutely. Large corporations, startups, it's an all complete ecosystem where everybody gets benefits by working all together. When we talk of large companies, what is the real benefit we see is we see, for instance, the startups which have scarce means, but we are still able to compete with us on some cases, who are very fast, get things out. And for us, it's very important to work with them to capture this capability to disrupt together. For the startups, I guess what I see from where I stand, the benefits is that working with people like us basically allows you to test very quickly and get also a reference on on what you're building, what you're selling. And that can be references for the next customers, and that can be also references for some investors, right? So you're able to say, I'm already working with those guys who are a reference in the domain. That's obviously reassuring for an investor. And the other thing as well that we see is the case where startups wish to collaborate with us on the industrialization of their solution. So I specifically come from the space business, Thalesania Space, and there it's quite often that we get requests for proposals, so requests for procurement from the startups to help them build their constellations, their systems, and so on and so forth. So it's a real cross-benefit story, we believe, in Thales, working together with the startups, for them, for us, for all the large corporations, very much.
Do you have some concrete examples of what you're doing with startups, probably to share with the guys here?
Absolutely. So open innovation takes multiple forms. Let me start with proof of concepts. We do a number of them with startups. For instance, with Prophecy, which is developing a computer vision solution, which is a subset of artificial intelligence, to make it simple. They are working with our optronics business for cameras. That can also take the form of supply chain eventually. So you have guys around where we hope we will come to such a relationship, such as Swiss 212 that you have here among the startups. There is also Nexeya, which is building nanosatellites, small company. Third category that we see is the traditional publicly funded research and technology. And I mentioned that one because you guys may know that the states, the institutions are more and more encouraging us as well to work all together. So for instance, the man-machine teaming program that the French Ministry of Defense has started to fund. So putting at equal level large companies like us as well as the startups. Fourth case, so you will have more information with Jean-Yves just afterwards, but that's the incubation process that we can go together. Currently, we are very much focusing on cybersecurity, as you may know, with Station F and so on. So you have all the startups behind if you want to check how much they are happy working with us. Then it can also take a more strategic spin. So, for example, in the space domain, we have set up a strategic relationship with an American company called Spaceflight Industries. So it takes the shape of investing in them, but as well building an industrial joint venture with them. So we also work together. It's not just giving money and you do whatever you want. It really means it, strategic relationship. And the last one being acquisitions, classic. You guys may have been at a speech yesterday, which was from Aveyant, which is holographic radars for air traffic management. That's an example of a startup joining us to build even more synergies altogether. So I guess the point is that open innovation has surely exponentially increased in the last years. And we already believe in Thales that the tomorrow winners will definitely be the ones who keep on embracing more and more open innovation. Thank you.
Probably just,
I
guess that there are some startups right here sitting or potential people thinking about that. So if you had an advice to give to them, what would that be?
Well, be genuine. Don't hesitate to approach us. It's fine. Sell us your vision. It's very important, but be as well honest, of course, on where you are at. As much as anybody else, people matter a lot in who we want to work with. We are Thales, so we have a strategic view, which means we want to make sure there is a differentiator in you. But if you approach us genuinely, well, there are a number of us around. I guess you will see we are very open, very much looking forward to new opportunities to work with you guys being at the edge, being agile. It's already a win-win story, believe me. So come and talk to us by all means.
So it's not very obvious. Usually we think of Thales that way, so it's good to hear that.
Yeah, no, surely. We are defense, as you know, regionally. We are more governmental markets, but we have also more commercially driven markets. And even in the markets I was mentioning, defense and so on, it's just a wave, It's a wave we clearly acknowledge cannot be stopped. We have to all work together. That's who wants to survive in the future. Even us, I think we are very humble about such things. We know that we cannot just stay by ourselves. We have to work with you guys. So I hope, I'm transmitting as well a genuine story here. You feel it. Yes.
Very good. Thank you, Vincent, for sharing that with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.